Okay, party people in the house. Right, I'm going to do a little tutorial on how to make this old style garage organ chord thing. One of the famous stabs from back in the day. I've seen a lot written about it. There's a new thing in town called deep house, and to me, I don't know why they're even calling it deep house, because to me it just sounds like early 90s garage, you know, like Grant Nelson, Masters at Work, that kind of thing. Anyway, this typical chord type thing is made with FM synthesis, and this is how it sounds. Here's a bit of a beat, 909 style to get you going. Wet your taste buds. Don't want it, don't need it, don't want it, I don't need it. Yeah, boy. So, there's a sample. So yeah, to put it into more context, I'm going to play you a track by Grant Nelson and Mr. Thurman, 24-hour experience, and this track's called All Nighter, and the chord sound comes in around 1 minute, so we shall play it. Here we go, here we go, here we go, bad boy selection, we can just start in, yeah. Pick up the bass and let's go. Easy, well again, come on. Your sensation. We're about to rock the nation. Hey, your sensation. We doing it again. So yeah, it's a bit of old schooly garage, 1994 and that one. You see, deep house or something like that, 1994, mate. Get on it. Get some education down here. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, to get this sound, we'll start a new one from scratch. And I'm going to use Toxic Biohazard, which is a hybrid synthesizer. It's got FM synthesis and subtractive synthesis. Toxic Biohazard. And admittedly, yes, I'm going to load up a preset I've made earlier, but it's very simple to show you what I've made. Also on this thing you can make like, check this out, M1 organ type sounds, like yeah, and anyway, this is the sound. So I think the chord is quite a complex one, but I got this off. I was flicking through a few forums online, and someone put the notes to this particular chord sample. I'm no keyboard player, but to be honest, it sounds pretty spot on. So just got to load it in. It's actually 10 notes which make this chord. And you've got, I'll just run through them now. So at the top you've got an A. Let's go from the bottom actually. A C2, a D sharp 2, A sharp 2, D3, G3, A3, D4, G4 and A4, which make this sound. I'm going to actually up it a few octaves because it always sounds a bit too mushed up and muddy. I'm also going to bring down the volume a little bit because it'll clip. So yeah, to get this sound, it's two sine waves basically. The first oscillator, and if you notice here on the decay, sustain, release is down to you how you want the envelope to sound. You can copy and paste, which I have done on this one. You can copy and paste the oscillators onto each one, so it saves time if you want the same sort of sound. And so yeah, you've got two sine waves. The first one is on the mod matrix here, maximum volume, and the second one is at 51. For some reason it's not loaded up the FM. So you modulate the first oscillator by the second by about 10. Just don't overdo it because it starts to grit the sound, otherwise you'll see what I'm saying. gives it a nice different character. I mean, it's up to you. You can play about with those settings, but for this one and this particular sound, I've just done it to about 10. And that is pretty much it to the sound layout. And where it comes alive is in the unison voices in this section here. So the polyphony is at 10 because the notes I'm playing is at 10. You can put that on maximum, but to save CPU I've just put it on to 10 because I know that's how many notes are being played. Now the unison voices, because there's 10 notes being played, I've only put it on to 2, and the unison detune ever slightly up because there's 10, as I said, there's 10 notes playing, so if you overdo that it's going to sound way out and it's going to be way too chorused for anyone's liking. So yeah, just put a bit of unison panel on as well just to spread the stereo field a bit, and I say that's how you get the sound. Now what you do is you get the chord, and I suggest sampling it, sampling it an octave higher than what you'd use it at. So for this, very simple on Fruity Loops, you can just pitch wheel there and it tells you how many cents. So let's go 1,200 cents, which is a whole octave for those that don't know. So you go to the master, you get any, you can export it, but I find it a lot simpler to just play it in and sample it. Now you could EQ. What I did on the original sound that I made for the tutorial, little beat that I made at the start of the video, I actually EQ'd it and limited it so it gave it a bit more of an even look about the waveform. But for the purposes of this, as I just said, we'll just load this in, slam it onto a sample. There we go. Easy as you like, don't even have to load up a sample on this thing. Volume, we'll do the decay, like a short decay thing, so it's nice and stabby. And the magic happens in the cut off modulation. So you bring the attack down just slightly after the initial transient hit because you want the cut off to cut off some of the high end that comes in. Just give it more of a stabby sound, and then the amount to the left ever so slightly. And yeah, you got a nice plucky garage organ ting going on. So put this on one channel, and to spice it up a bit, I've made little send, reverb and delay, typical standard thing really. Garage delay, and these ones I made earlier, by the way, so that's why they are presets. So you just go to the section and up some of the levels, give it a bit of both, and then you've got this sound. Whoops. So what we do is we just normalize it. As you can see, as I say, on the sample before on the video, the beat that I made earlier, you'll see the waveform was a lot more, it was actually a lot more evened out, but this one's a bit all over the place. That's because I limited it and soft clipped it and did a few more things like that. But as I say, for the purpose of this tutorial, quick and easy, it'll show you how to do it. So, this is the sound. So yeah, drop it in, make some notes. There we go. Yeah, so very nice. And the thing with sampling it is, one thing I forgot to mention actually was bit crushing. To get back in the day, because the samplers were at a lower bit rate, when you sample in that original sound from the synthesized version, you might want to add a bit crusher just to grip the sound up a little bit more. This is a very clean modern sound that I've made, and I forgot to do the bit crushing, but I did that on the original videos on the little beat that I made earlier as well. That's pretty much it to the sound really. Another thing to mention is because you sample it back, I mean you could play any chord and do it on the synth itself, but the thing with sampling is you get that sampling sound, whereas the lower down on the keyboard, the more stretched the notes are, and vice versa. The higher up you go, the quicker the note is. So it's a natural sampling sound, which gives it a official quality, if you like, and a more authentic sound, because that is how they did it back in the day. So yeah, that's how to make a garage or deep house, whatever you want to call it, style chord thing. Hope you enjoyed that. And once again, I'll just pop on the little. So as you can see on this sample here, I've got a lot more. It's a lot more uniformed. Look at that, nice, fat, and yeah. Once again, the sound. Yeah. Garage organ style, UKG thing, wicked.